Mr. TK Ng is a serial entrepreneur with more than 25 years of experience spanning across enterprise software and technology, R&D, visual effects, animation, games, and, okay, watch this, yeah, VR, AR, MR. So together, we call that XR, right? So specifically at SFX Corporation, that's the latest startup. They co-created a new generation of XR digital transformation processes. So they have customers such as Certis Group, Keppel, Rolls-Royce, TTSH, and so on, using their reality transform platform. It's really going to be interesting. A little bit more about SFX Corp. So FXX Core is a deep tech startup, okay, based in Singapore. So the focus is very much using their reality transform agile, no code or low code development framework for XR, which is really the VR, AR, and the mixed reality application. So over there, you can see as well the website for sfxcore.com. So we look forward to hearing from TK in terms of his work on this latest baby, right? I'm quite sure he has many babies, and this is going to be really interesting on XR, right, for him. So over to you, TK. Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
Thanks, Michael. I hope my audio is coming through well.
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, so we can have the slide on screen, so I can I'll just share with everyone on our Reality Transform platform. So good afternoon to everybody. Thank you very much for your time and for joining us in this webinar together, everyone. So I'm TK, and I'm the founder CEO of SFX Corporation, and we have a startup built our own platform and our own tools called Reality Transform and VCS.world collaboration cloud platform. And of course, this is also an on-premise platform as well. So I'll share with you more as we go along. So can I have the next slide? We are founded in 2016, so we're about coming to 5 years old company. So we have a team of 8 right now. Main office and the technology R&D and everything is all done based in Singapore at the moment. So our core team is over here. Next slide. Our vision is to democratize XR development for businesses, for users, education, and users globally. So it's a framework and a platform to enable everyone to quickly develop scalable content, especially multi-user content. Then they can collaborate worldwide within the organization and outside the organization with customers, with users, and everyone. So that's our key vision. Next slide. And today, actually, what we see is the key challenges that the world is facing and a lot of businesses, enterprises are facing is that, especially now for the past 1.5 years, we have been familiar with Zoom, Teams, and software like Microsoft Dynamics and even FaceTime and WhatsApp and all that. We are using all these technologies to try to convey ideas and concepts, and those are very difficult to some ideas and concepts, especially those that require 3D or spatial awareness, is very difficult to convey. So those are essentially flat image mediums, or we call it flat 2D mediums. It's very difficult to convey. And the other thing today is content, in this case for enterprises, especially in industrial use, to create XR content or even interactive content is very, very difficult to do today. It's very costly, it's very time consuming. Bringing a model from CAD all the way to making it interactive in VR, AR, or MR is very difficult. There's no real cost-efficient solution today to enable no-code, low-code kind of rapid prototyping and what we call agile development of such content. And importantly, after creating the content, you must be able to scale globally, quickly and efficiently. That is something that is you'll have a hard time finding a solution today that's ready to go. And for us as well, there's no ready-to-go cloud or on-premise platform for enterprise today to enable global teams. There's a big pain point at the moment, and how to collaboratively learn and train and assess and provide ops support and everything else, whether integrating with learning management system, integrating with their back-end, what we call engineering systems and all that. You don't have something that's ready to go today that you can just plug in, do some customization, and off you go. So that's also one of the key challenges today. Next slide. So for our case, we have our 2 core products, which is Reality Transform 2.0 right now. It's in 2.0 beta. We are actually having some customers in early access right now with us using it right now, using it in production right now. It's our no-code, low-code XR development framework that runs in Unity. We try not to create another software. We decided to use the best software in the world today, which is Unity 3D engine, and we work inside that. So to minimize the confusion, minimize the learning curve as well, and shorten it so that people can get up to speed very quickly, whether they know Unity or not, they can just pick it up through our system as well. And secondly, we have our Reality Transform Enterprise, which is for on-premise customer, and our cloud version for those who prefer to have a cloud-based SaaS solution for them to use. And we have this SaaS solution running on multiple clouds that we're tested with and we're partners with as well. So next slide. So essentially, the Reality Transform platform allows you to quickly digitalize and capture your enterprise's knowledge processes, especially in your subject matter experts, your engineers, and your business marketing staff, and everyone. They can capture all this knowledge and all these assets and all these systems together in our no-code, low-code system and bring it up in Unity and immediately package it and upload it to the server, which is either on-premise or on the cloud, and share that to multiple devices. Even though we say we're immersive, but we do not need everybody to be immersive. All you need is maybe one user, let's say the sales or the senior engineer, to be wearing the VR headset. And the rest of the users can be using multiple devices. So we support the best of breed devices out there. So it can be AR, mobile phones, iPad, Android. It can be a HoloLens 2, or it can be a PC, or even a desktop Mac or a Windows notebook. Anyone can join in. And we have you can support as many devices as you want. It all depends on the size of your server, your connectivity, and a few other factors. And once you understand that, it's pretty easy to scale, and we allow multiple servers, multiple sessions, and distributed servers all over the world as well, together with our partners like Amazon and Azure and all that. Next slide, please. So the VCS.world and RT Enterprise server is starting a session is very easy. It's just like starting a Zoom session or Team session. The host logs into our server, make sure that all the files and all the models are there and everything, the assets, or if they need to upload it, they can just straight away bring it into the server anytime, call it in, and immediately invite their collaborators through our client, through email or link or WhatsApp or SMS, and they click on it. Once the client is installed, by clicking on the link, the client will start up the universal client, and they just have to log in and join into the session. So we have things like public sessions, private sessions, or sessions that they can limit to a few people. So it all depends on what they want to do. And it works over LAN, Wi-Fi, 4G, and 5G as well. So in fact, 5G is actually especially advantageous because XR traditionally has known to be always very latency sensitive kind of application. So the lower the latency, the better it is. And of course, we are very graphically intensive as well, and we have certain platforms and certain solutions that can mitigate that too. But what's important is that we allow a mix of hybrids, cross-platform solutions to come together. So you don't have to worry about your platform. You don't have to worry about the hardware. You just have to make sure that everybody is using all the what they call the common platforms out there, and we're able to scale to all these platforms at one go. So you just author once, and you can deploy anywhere through our clients. Next slide. And our advantages today is easy to learn, no code. Later, I'll show you a video on that. Within 5 minutes, we're up and running. You can start with one person in your team. It doesn't have to be a developer. It can be a designer, engineer, or even a business person or marketing sales specialist with who is interested and just can pick up from there. There's no coding knowledge that's needed. They don't have to be a programmer at all. It's multi-platform. It's cloud and on-premise. There's a universal client for all the platforms that we support. There's high-fidelity interactions. Later in the second video, I'll show you what that means, where users can work together, they can interact together, can integrate with enterprise systems as well as customization. It's customizable by development partners. We are building up an ecosystem of partners who can help customers and companies build up all these systems, or we have an internal consulting team that can help that as well. And so essentially it's safe. You have better work-life balance. You have time and cost saving because it's easy to scale. It's agile. You can always test it out through rapid prototyping and adjust along the way. And importantly, it's environmentally friendly because we minimize travels, especially post-pandemic. Most people may not want to travel that often, and you also do not want to incur all these environmental disruptions, the airplanes and travel time, for example, quarantining, all that will cost. So these are all advantages that we bring to the table. Next slide. So having shown all this, these are some of the users and customers that we work with, our early partners and early customers that have been working with us all these years to build up this platform and at the same time empower them to develop better learning applications, training, support applications in many ways that they are using. Yeah, so next slide. And globally, we also are working with different educational partners as well, like Singapore Poly, Nanyang Poly, ITE. We're working with them at IL, of course. That's why we're in this seminar together. And of course, NUS as well. We're working with different partners to go forward together. Oops, sorry about this slide. So we have our partners globally as well with Unity, NVIDIA, Vario, HTC, Oculus, Microsoft, and of course with Singtel, IMDA, or this ISFX Singapore, and A-Star iCube. These are all our partners that we're working together with in various industry verticals and various sectors as well. and also with our tools and platform. So let's move on to the next slide. And having said all this, I will wrap my slides at this point because I have some videos I would like to show you. So the first video I'll show you is our no-code, low-code reality transform platform. Is about a user, a designer who has no programming background. She's actually importing a CAD model of a robot arm, and she's setting it up for VR interaction. And you can see how quickly she can do it. And the video has been sped up a little bit, but that's real time. Everything is done in real time. So you're seeing her from start to the end where she can interact with the robot arm. So let's play that video and we'll let the audience take a look. Thank you. So this is the Unity editor for those who have not seen it yet. So this is a 3D engine that's used to create VR, AR content, as well as games and interactive content in the worldwide. So what our designer is doing now, she's actually bringing in the robotic arm model that was created in the CAD software. She's setting up the scene for VR. She's actually specifying which hardware she's using, for example, like VR headset or AR mobile phone or just a 3D desktop. And here you can see the various parts of the robot arm, just like how you see in the CAD file. The arms, the forearm, the upper arm, lower arm, and the base of the robot itself. And she's using a drag and drop kind of method to just add in all the functionalities to make this robot arm interactive and to be able to work with the user in VR later. So all these are part of our no-code framework, where the user just has to select through menus, drag in the components, set up the system accordingly, and at the same time set up all the various Unity components in there, plus our components, and off they go. So here she's setting up the relationship between the different parts of the arm, making sure that the arms are connected, just like in real life. You know, our shoulder joint is connected to our elbow joint is connected to our wrist is then connected to our hands, and then from there over to our finger bones and all that. So likewise, we are doing the same connection over here. She set up all the hinges and all the joints, and once she's done, all the VR interaction, everything is already done for her. And notice that once she's done, she's just pressing play, and immediately she puts on a headset right now. Pardon the jittery interface, but she's actually wearing a VR headset right now. And in there, she's holding a VR controller, and immediately you see she can now interact with the robot arm. And the robot arm now can move, and it can work, it can behave like the real robotic arm that they want. And after this, the programmers can step in to add in functionalities that's required to simulate the robot arm, say based on the robotic operating system, ROS, or if she wants it to interact with a certain component or certain parts, she can then program the robot arm in her own way. Or the sales and marketing team can use this and deploy this immediately to our cloud, and use this as a sales and marketing tool to show the customer, say, hey, I got your custom built robot built up now. Can you take a look at it, and we can let you play with it virtually first before right now, and you're okay, we'll start manufacturing the robot. In 3 months' time, you'll get the real robot in your factory. The second video I'll show you is actually a simulation of our collaborative world, VCS.world, where a few users are performing a training using the robot arm in the world itself. And these users are all remote. They are not together in the same location. They're all logging in from different places in Singapore using their own headsets, and they're talking together as a team. And the user that's filming it is using an iPad actually, and filming the whole session using AR mode. So let's play the second video. Sorry, they are very good at writing in reverse after training for so long. So the instructor herself, she's very good at writing in mirrored text. But notice the S is not mirrored, but let's not worry about that. So here, Bernice is actually conducting a course, and they can talk to each other, they can hear each other. You notice the speaker icon is lighted up, Huishan is lighted up. So they're actually discussing and presenting to each other. And Joe is actually briefing Huishan on the certain parts of the arm, while Bernice is actually waiting for them to complete before she moves on to the next step, and before she teaches everybody what's the next step to produce and how to dismantle the arm and how to now assemble the arm back together in the right sequence. And after they are done, Bernice can say, all right, now Huishan, can you start and you take over the control? Can you start disassembling the arm again, show it to us, and assemble it back as per what we have taught you, and continue from there. And then Joe can take over and they can conduct the training. And notice in here we have things like gestures and fingers and pointings and all that. So this allows your body gestures, non-verbal gestures, to be reflected and transmitted across. And you can feel that the spatial awareness, again, when you look at the 3D avatars. You can feel that the people there, you can feel their presence, and you can feel that it's not a robot, it's not a digital character, but rather there's a real human controlling those characters. And likewise, these humans can also be digitalized as well. We can also script and record a virtual instructor that can, for example, take the place of Bernice. She can record herself, and after that, she can play herself back in that world itself to train the others as well. So these are all options we can do. So having that said, that let's go on to the last slide, which is showing you how systems can be used with 3 different hardware: VR, AR, and mixed reality coming together using HoloLens, iPad, as well as a virtual VR device called the Oculus Quest 2, all then training together. A short snippet of that, please. The third video. Thank you.
It's the light button. Press that. Okay. Right. So now you see the lights on for the printer. All right.
So you're
Okay, so
watching
we
from the
have to make
iPad
sure
user
that
point of
this
view.
tray is clean and clear before we submit the job.
So there is a
Right,
there's
so
a
now
trainee
there's
number
nothing
2 that's
there.
holding the iPad
The
and
next thing
recording
you do
everything,
is
and you're hearing their
press down
voices.
the tray release bar and then bring up the tray. Yes. Okay, now bring up the tray. Right. Okay, and then put it back. All right, to make sure that it is it fits properly. All right. Okay, then pull up the bar. All right.
So you can
Okay,
see now
so
her hands are spatially correct, and she's able to train Jasmine in the right operations and all that without burning her hands, because the oven, the chamber in that 3D printer is about 80 degrees Celsius. If Jasmine will put her hands too far in, she can get burned. So these are things that we take care of, and these are solutions that we have for industrial use, for example, or medical or for scientific or engineering purposes, where there are a lot of scenarios that have to be taken care of. So having said that, I come to the end of my presentation. I hope all of you enjoyed the videos as well as my slides. Sorry if I've spoken a little too fast. Sorry about that. So I'd like to open up back to Michael for any questions or any comments or anyone.
Thanks, Teo Kun. It's been really interesting. It's almost like a different world altogether, right? I really like the fact that you said about post-pandemic, right? Actually helps to reduce travel and also allows for a team-based kind of collaboration work together using AR, VR, XR, and so on. I would also say that in a sense, right, because of the potential of this allowing people to collaborate in a very kind of a 3D fashion movement and so on, that allows for a lot of possibilities, especially training people to carry out manual tasks and so on, right? I thought that was really interesting. For someone who's coming into this like a new organization who likes to explore this, how do they start?
Well, they can always contact us, and we'll walk them through the process. We have a set of best practices culled from all our previous projects and customers that we can share with them. And after that, we can match them with the appropriate or the best partner, or we ourselves, if need be, we can come in and work with them together to bring them onto this journey, like what we've done for our partners. And after that, along the way, they can build up their team, or they can find new partners, and we will train them up as well and then transfer the know-how to them, because this is part of our platform and what we want to do. We want to democratize and empower our customers to take this forward and be able to own all these things and bring it forward together with our platform and our technologies.
That's really very nice, because it sounds like empowerment, equipping people, upskilling, and also capability development, right, of your partners. So
Yes,
that sounds like a very nice journey. There's one more question that's about, okay, I'll just read the question now. Any minimum internet speed at the learner side, especially for live VR-based training delivery?
Very good question. Our platform, we have taken a lot of pains to try to minimize the impact of latency. To date, we have tested even with 3G transmission. We found that while there's some slowdown, but in general, it doesn't hurt the whole transmission. On average, we use about 1 megabyte of bandwidth per second. So it can run over 3G as well. Of course, ideally, we will advise to have you to use 4G at very least, if possible 5G. And of course, for the best experiences is Wi-Fi in the office, or high-speed internet, as well as LAN. But a lot of our customers globally has used our solution with global servers. So servers hosted on Microsoft Azure and Amazon AWS, and the servers are distributed somewhere in, say, US, and the users are distributed across Asia and US and Europe. And they find that it still runs pretty well, and they just have to accommodate for some slight delay in between each other's communication. So that's quite normal, and they're used to that. So they find that it's still workable. So I would say it's all right. There's the minimum requirement is not so bad.
Thank you. Thanks, Yokun. Really, I think that's very, very good to know. And it sounds like very, very practical thing that we can actually implement quite quickly as well. Thank you, Yokun, for the time spent. And we look forward to also maybe seeing you around and then having you share more in the future.
Sure.
Yes, thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Michael.
Let's give
Thanks.
Yokun a round of applause. Thank you.